We have a story here from Fox News. Texas lawmaker planning bill to ban children from drag shows. Not appropriate at all. A lot of this is in a similar vein, where for some reason there's a big push from the left to expose children to overtly sexualized activities or overtly sexual activity. You had a lawsuit. Was it just one, or were there two?
So it's combined into two. There's two different books that are in this lawsuit.
But you basically, you didn't get them banned.
No.
Parental consent is now required to display sexual content.
That's what we're seeking. Yeah. So in Virginia, you're able to take a book before a judge. It's a law. You're able to take a book before a judge and see if it's obscene. So you get a ruling on it. Mm-hmm. The judge agreed with us. My attorney, Delegate Tim Anderson, and I decided to take these books. There's two of them. It's the Genderqueer, again, the most controversial book in the country, and then Court of Mist and Fury. And we took them before a judge, and she ruled. The interesting thing is every single judge in Virginia Beach recused themselves.
Wow.
Said it's a political nightmare. They don't want to do it.
I'm sorry, guys. I talk about Civil War conflict. We have a guy who just got arrested for attempted murder of a justice.
Yep.
And I say, I don't think there's a way out of this. When the judges are like, I'm scared and too cowardly to stand up for values, then the only thing I can see is weak men will lead to hard times.
Oh, absolutely. Always. I mean, that's what we're seeing right now, quite honestly. I mean, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle, and you've had some weak politicians for a long time.
This book, Genderqueer, has writing. Some of the writing in it is overtly sexualized, saying, I want your in my... And then you have a photograph of two people performing acts on each other.
Yep.
There's actually two different images of activities being performed on each other, adult activities. This other book, what was it called?
Court of Mist and Fury.
So what? I've not heard this one, though. So what's this
So it's
book?
actually, it's one of a series. It's a 3-part series, and it's actually heterosexual in nature, but the descriptions of the act of sex is so descriptive. I mean, they can't read. So the local news channel there, FM 99, wasn't even allowed to read it on the air.
Was it an FCC violation?
Yep, absolutely. And the lady that was presenting it, she's
kids,
great.
huh?
She was like, well, I can't read this. And so the other DJ was like, well, I'll read it. And looked at it and goes, I can't read this on there.
Wow.
Yep.
But it's okay for 6th graders to have it, 10 to 12 years old. It's okay to give it to our children.
And what are they writing? These establishment leftists and liberals are writing. Republicans are banning books.
I'm a Nazi now. I'm a book banner.
If you believe that, you're in a cult. I'm sorry. Like, we don't allow Playboy in schools, and Playboy isn't like hardcore stuff.
Right.
It's pinup models, nude women, but that's not allowed.
Well, there's got to be a line. That's my point. Is there has to be a line. You clearly, for Virginia Beach anyway, that school district obviously doesn't have a clear enough line. And I don't know who it is, where the failure is, where the breakdown is in administration and the administrative level. But whoever it is doesn't have a clear line. So I'm simply asking for parental rights to be restored. So parental consent for minors to view sexually explicit material, just like when you go to a movie theater.
I think one of the issues is that the whole identity of Democrats is we hate Republicans.
Sure.
It started partly with Trump. I think it existed a little bit before. But they said Republicans are all bad. Trump wins, Trump is a Nazi, and now they have no choice but to stake their identity on opposing whatever it is that's right-wing.
Especially if you call yourself a conservative Republican.
Oh, I mean, you guys are... conservative Republicans are just off the cliff. You're so far, right?
Yeah.
But Joe Rogan, he's a borderline socialist,
yes.
And they call him right-wing. Because they have... Every part of their identity must be in opposition to whatever it is. Maybe the good news is... there won't be a major conflict between factions because they will ostracize themselves to the point where there's 10 people who hold their views.
One can only hope, right? But honestly, so I actually believe, thank you so much for doing what you're doing. Honestly, I think this is a step in the right direction.
Just complaining on the internet.
No, it's good. But this is where news is now. News is no longer, Fox News or CNN or MSNBC. Everybody looks at that and realizes it's propaganda. I had a Chinese friend who told me, he said, we don't watch the news in China because we know it's propaganda. For some reason, you Americans haven't figured it out yet.